screen. And here we have a question from Rita. And so we asked them to ask any question about Prime Day. And Rita asked us a question about what strategies should be implemented pre-Prime Day and post-Prime Day. We are trying to maintain a healthy tacos, so we didn't go aggressively with bidding placement budget. Now we are seeing a slump in impression that results in sales slowing down, which is exactly the same thing we see from our side. So I will post this also YouTube comment, so people can also, I cannot, it's too long. But yeah, so the question is, what are the strategies we implemented before and after Prime Day? So today is one day before Prime Day, so it's quite challenging to make changes right now. But what we've seen across all our clients' account is that overall spend is almost the same, but conversion rate is decreasing. Spend is also decreasing, but conversion rate is decreasing. And so that leads to a higher tacos. So we see there are way more window shoppers, so people who are clicking and not buying your products, which is very annoying, but it's part of the process because people are already shopping, and I did the same. If I have something to buy during Prime Day, I already added to the cart, and I'm just waiting for Prime Day to come because I know that this listing most likely is going to be on a sale. So I know that this listing most likely will get a deal on Prime Day, during Prime Day. So I know there are lots of window shoppers, and our approach is like we don't want to avoid to overspend. For the reason we always use, we always like to do analysis, which is the daily tacos analysis. So we analyze the daily spend divided by total sales for that day, and we see if we are overspending or underspending. For example, we just received a message from a client who is a bit overspending, so the tacos is overall higher than their target. So they're trying to figure it out if they need to decrease or decrease the ad spend or not. So the first step is to, I would say, like, check daily the tacos. So make sure that we are not overspending. Like, that is the main thing I keep telling to our team members and our clients. We don't want to overspend. Like, that is the main thing. I think during Prime Day, our approach and what we like to do for all our clients is to maximize profits. So we don't care too much about maximizing sales. We care more about maximizing profits. So we don't want to overspend. So we like also your approach, Rita, which is maintaining a healthy tacos during Prime Day is still today, after like 10 Prime Days that we have done, still the best strategies we found to take advantage of Prime Day. And so before Prime Day, we like to make sure we are not overspending. So you will see that the conversion rate will decrease a bit on the PPC side. So you will see more clicks with less conversion compared to usual. But we don't like to make drastic changes. What you could do, you could decrease the bid to since you have a decrease of conversion rate, and during Prime Day you bring it back to normal because you know the conversion rate will go higher. Or some people, they like to go and invest more, so increase the yearly bid because they know the conversion rate will be higher during Prime Day. We don't like to do that. We like to keep the bid and the placements where they are for most of our campaigns. And we prefer to be very targeted if we want to spend more with our Amazon ads, or we define very specific keyword that we want to target and we want to improve our ranking. For example, we know that it will convert very well and we push only for this. But we don't like to just increase the bid across the board, across all the campaigns. We don't like that. And we have some clients, some of our training clients, who use the opposite approach. They decrease the bid across the board by 20% because they want to be very profitable and because they know that they will go very aggressive with their deals. So what I would suggest here is before Prime Day, I would suggest that if you really want, you can decrease the bid to save some money. During Prime Day, I would not suggest to go too aggressive with the bid. So I would suggest to keep the bid at the same. Or if you want to go higher, pick only specific keyword you want to spend more or to invest more. And even better, instead of playing with the bid, play with the placements. So instead of just increasing the bid, it's better to increase the placement. So you are very targeted on the placement you want to spend on. And after Prime Day, we will also make some posts in our community on the campaigns that we launch after Prime Day to maximize the sales. but the most common are the remarketing and retargeting. So these are very important, especially because we have lots of traffic on our page during Prime Day, and we want to make sure we maximize the sales. So that is what we suggest to do. So during Prime Day, do not increase the bid too much or even the placements. Be very intentional on how you're doing that. After Prime Day, make sure you maximize the overall sales by launching new type of campaigns, like, for example, sponsored display, and also by analyzing all the search term. We will discuss in a second how you can do that during Prime Day is a practice we suggest to do. So overall, I would suggest keep it simple, do not overspend, and I will share in a second another task we do on a daily basis, almost hourly, for all our clients to make sure we're not overspending, because that is the common issue, especially during Prime Day, that people overspend and they just focus on revenue. We don't care about revenue, we care about profit. So after we have a question from Alex. Is it worth adding keywords like Prime Day plus product, for example, Prime Day baby career, to campaigns, or do these kinds of keywords usually not perform very well? So I actually was speaking about this with a client 2 weeks ago, and it depends from the niche and the niche of the product, and depends if you think people will search for your product during Prime Day. For example, this client, it's a massive client, so it's a product that most people are buying, and most people are always looking for this product, and it's quite expensive, so also people are looking for deals. So, and if you have the budget, I would suggest to test these campaigns. You don't need to have lots of keywords inside. I would not suggest to use the exact match. I would suggest to use sponsored products. This is what we suggested to this client. We suggested sponsored product, phrase match campaigns or broad match campaigns, where you target 5 to 10 keywords, and you try to target this kind of keyword. So Prime Day plus your main keyword. So I would suggest to not overcomplicate this. Keep the budget low at the beginning. Most likely you will not be able to spend much for these campaigns. But what we have noticed that you could get very profitable ad sales, especially if your product is a good, let's say, product keyword fit. So if the product fits well for that keyword, in this case, Prime Day. So, and also make sure you're running some deals, some Prime Days deals. So make sure that that your product is a product keyword fit, let's say, and make sure that you're running deals. And if you run these campaigns, start with a low budget. So we suggest always start with a $10, $20 budget, and do not put too many keywords. Start with a lower bid and try to get phrase match and broad match. So you try to get a very wide exposure for your keyword and search terms. So that is what we suggest. And for this kind of campaigns, I would suggest to not use all your variations. I would suggest to use only your best seller variations if you have a parenthesis with multiple variations. And in this variation, in this campaign, only use the variation that are running a deal. I think it makes sense. So another suggestion here is that if you run any of these kind of campaigns, what I would suggest is to put them in a different portfolio, because one thing we also suggest for our clients is to analyze what we were doing last year and making sure we're doing the same thing this year, especially if they were working. So through the advertising console, you cannot see the search term you were getting clicks and sales from the last year, but you can see the campaigns that we're spending. So if you go under reports, your advertising console, and you select sponsored product campaign, you can analyze the last year data, and you can see what were the campaigns that were performing very well last year, and you can make sure they're still running today. So lots of people that we use their accounts, what we see that they post lots of campaigns, because you never know, lots of things happen during the year. So they stop the campaigns and then they're not spending anymore. So you make sure you check these campaigns and make sure you're still running on these campaigns. We are a bit tight with the time since Prime Day is tomorrow, but still I would suggest to analyze last year Prime Day data, and see what you were running. And most likely, if you see that last year's search term with Prime Day were working, most likely this year they will work as well. So highly suggest to check last year data. One other thing you can do if you use any software like if you have any software like Scale Insights or I don't think that I can do it. We have our software in-house, but if you have, for example, Scale Insights or any other software, most likely they're keeping the data for the past year. So you should be able to see the search term and targets that were performing very well last year, because through the advertising console, you can only see the campaigns data. So you cannot see the keyword or search term data. So it's very important we also go deeper and analyze if the keyword or which search terms were performing. So that is what one other thing we do. Yes, you can watch the recording later. There was another question. I see from Anke, I see. Is it necessary to spend the same amount on ads on Prime Day? I have some best deals and lightning deals, which should drive a lot of organic traffic. Yes. So here, what I was just like, yes, you need to spend on ads for sure. But yes, as you said, like there will be much more organic orders. And if you run also deals, your profit margins percentage tends to be much lower. So we don't want to overspend. So one analysis we do every single hour is to analyze, we go in the advertising console, we analyze the daily spend. So you go in the advertising console, select the data range today, and you go under business report, you go under sales, the first tab that you see. And here you can see what is the overall sales for today. And you do a simple calculation. So you do daily ad spend divided by total sales. And you can see for that hour, until that hour, let's say that is 8 a.m. PST time, you can see what is the actual takeaways for that time. Obviously, what we've seen that we tend to that number tend to be much lower, not much lower, let's say 1 to 2% below the actual number. So what we suggest is to, if for example, you see that the daily tacos is 8%, so let's say that you spent $8 and your total sales are $100, so 8%, most likely the true takeaways is around 9 to 10%. So it's a bit higher. So I would suggest to add a tolerance so you avoid to make any mistake. And once you have this data, so let's say that we are in this case where we have a tacos of 8%, and our goal is 10% tacos. It means that we don't have a much space to invest more in ads, because we know that with the tolerance, we will most likely be okay. We will be on target. The worst thing that can happen is that you see that your tacos is already 8 to 10%. You know that your target is 10%, and you keep pushing. You keep spending more on ads while you know that you already achieved your target. So especially if you are struggling with profitability, and most of our clients, they really care about profitability, and we care as well, what I would suggest is to make sure that we are not overspending. And this simple analysis, it's by far the best way we found to understand if we are overspending or underspending. And okay, I see. Hey, I'm from India, living in a PR. Not easy niche. So we know that PR, for example, with PPC, you need to go wide instead of going very targeted. So I don't know if you felt the same. I like your channel, so much information. Keep making the content. Yes, thank you for that. And yes, this niche is not easy, especially because you have lots of window shoppers. So people who are not sure about the product they want to buy. So they start to do lots of research. They click across lots of products, and it's very difficult to rank for this keyword. So I'm not sure if you felt the same, but this is what we notice. We notice it's very difficult to improve the ranking inside these niches. And the best approach we found is to make sure to go very broad and with our PPC, so using lots of sponsored product broad match campaign, automatic campaigns that are performing very well here, and to not be afraid to have lots of wasted ad spend, so clicks and orders, because in this niche it's very common since the conversion rate is very low. So I don't know if you had any issue with this, any problem with this niche. I know it's not that easy. Can you do day parting during Prime Day to avoid overspending? Great question, Mark. So this is something we do for some of our clients. We don't do it for all, and also for our training clients. We don't always suggest to do day parting because some of them, they still prefer, we do an analysis, you can do an analysis on day parting in Scaling Science. If you go in Scaling Science and you analyze the sales trend, you can see how many orders you're getting on an hourly basis. And you can also see the performance on a campaign level on an hourly basis by downloading a report in the advertising console. So in the advertising console, you can go under reports, sponsored products, campaign, and you select hourly. You will be able to see the performance on a campaign level on an hourly basis, which is very cool. So you can do that analysis, and you can see if there is a correlation between beginning of the day and high CPC, which is most likely is going to happen. And we run some tests for our clients, but the main metric you're looking for is a decrease on CPC when you do the parting, because you know at the beginning of the day, the CPC will be much higher compared to the rest of the day, because you have more advertisers spending for the same keyword. So you expect that at the end of the day, since there will be less advertisers, since they will run out of budget, the CPC will go lower, which is most of the time what's happening. But what we also see at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, there is also a lower conversion rate. So doing some day parting could be very worth it if you have a very tight profit margin. So if you want to maximize profit, I would highly suggest to run day parting, and that is something we do for some of our clients, not all of them. But yes, I would suggest analyze the data first. You have some time. You can run it with Scaling Sites, for example. I would not suggest to do it manually. I feel like manually is you could make too many mistakes, so I would avoid that. But you can do it with Scaling Sites. It's very simple to set up. If you have any questions, feel free to join our community, and we can show you how to do it. But yes, you can do it. The fact that now you're a bit tight with the time, Prime Days will be 4 days this year, so maybe you still have time. But do not expect to see like crazy results. And the main metric here I would suggest to analyze is the CPC. If you run day parting and is successful, you should see a decrease in CPC and increase in overall profit. So that is what we do. And we don't start by adding too many hours, to be honest. So let's say you have 24 hours. We started doing the party with 2 to 3 hours to 4 hours max. We don't go like 6, 7 hours. Like start small, and then you can see if it's actually working or not. Okay, I see more questions here. I like it. So, okay, so Michael is asking, hey, can we increase our ads budget as compared to others day or not? And another question is, so can we increase our ads budget as compared to others days? Or yes, I would for sure increase the budget compared to others day, because you will have more traffic. But I will not increase the budget. Depends on the account. We have some accounts where they just increase the budget and they don't care because they don't have any problem with ad spend. But if you are focused on profitability, I would suggest increase the budget, but be mindful of not going too aggressive. What we like to do before Prime Day is to do a process we call budget normalization. So let's say that our campaigns on average is spending $100 a day. We don't want the budget to be at $300. We want the budget to be at $100. And the same thing during Prime Day. We don't want to give too much budget to the campaign, because if it's not performing, we'll spend most of our budget. What we suggest is to check almost hourly and see if our campaign is running out of budget, and slowly increase the budget. At the beginning of the day, you can start, you can increase the budget by 20, 30%. And the best thing you can do, you can analyze what were the sales last year. So, okay, my sales were 3x compared to the last year. I expect my ad spend to go at least 2x, something like that. And so you can see what was working last year, how much you spend during this day, and try to replicate this year. And you want to increase the budget, but do not, if your budget is 100, do not put 3,000. That will, the gap is too big, and you risk to lose lots of money. So I would not suggest to do that. And another question is, what's your strategy for campaigns? I mean, at which hour the bid will be high and which time it will not? Okay, here we don't change the bid by hour. So that is something we don't do. We like to focus on profitability, and we like to be very specific on keyword we want to push more. So let's say that we have we are tracking 50 keywords for our ranking for our main product, and we know, okay, we want to dominate these 5 keywords. We will go and we will not change the bid. We will mainly focus on the placements, because if you increase the bid, what you risk is that you start to get clicks on product page, and especially for your sponsored products. And if you start to get clicks on your sponsored products, sponsored product pages, you risk to get a very low conversion rate and a very high ACOS. So we don't suggest to touch the bid. You can touch the bid, but I prefer to touch the placements. And especially if your campaigns is well structured, so you have one campaign, one ad group, not too many keywords inside, you can really scale a campaign very well during Prime Day. So yeah, we do not change the bid by hour. If we do some day parting, we do it by stopping the ads or some campaigns during a period of time. Let me try to see. Hi, Stefano. Supplement niche, Europe. What would be you? Okay, Mirella. So supplements niche. I started as a PPC manager in-house for one of the biggest supplements company in Europe. So they're still working with us, which is amazing. And so yes, I know it's competitive. And for the supplement niche, we have other clients. What we have noticed that you don't get lots of new to brand. You don't get the best new to brand customer, because the customer who are buying supplements during Prime Day usually are cheap customer. So customer who are just finding a deal and they don't come back. So that is an analysis I remember we made for this brand, because we saw that the new to brand customer, their lifetime value is not as good as another customer who is buying, for example, in January. January is an amazing month for supplements, as you know, Mirella. And so for supplements, what I would suggest is most of your competitors will run deals, and most of your competitors will try to gain ranking during this period, because that is exactly what we were doing, what we are still doing for our clients. But still, I would not suggest to chase revenue during this day, because again, as I said before, the revenue you're getting is not the best revenue, because this customer, they're not a repeat customer. They will not come back. So an analysis we always suggest to do for a supplements company is to have a new to brand customer analysis. So to see how many new to brand customers we're getting and what is the value of this new to brand customer. I know there are software out there that are doing that. We have our data analyst that is helping us to do this analysis. But what I would suggest for a supplements company is do not chase revenue, chase profit. And I still believe that for supplements, because it's not worth it to run aggressive deals. It could be worth it if you want to get a ranking, or if you need to sell your products. But overall, what we noticed that this is not worth it to really push aggressively during Prime Day for a supplement niche. So keep doing what you're doing. I will not increase the bid. Maybe I will increase the placement for a few keywords. I want to try to improve the ranking. If you're tracking the ranking with Data Dive. But the main goal here for me is also for supplements is, again, depends on your goal, but for me is profitability also during Prime Day. We had some clients that are in the dog supplements, but they are VC founded, so they have lots of cash they can invest to keep trying to grow. And but so that is a different approach. But I don't know how big is your brand, Mirella, but overall, I would suggest I still believe that it's worth to focus on profitability and do not chase just revenue and try to get crazy tacos just to get more sales. Let me turn on the condition. Okay. For the supplements brand, what test are we doing? So exact match, top of search. So one thing during Prime Day, what I always suggest is to make sure that we are doing the basics correctly. So we should not tomorrow is Prime Day. We are having this live now, so you don't have much time. But what I would suggest is do this simple analysis, because this simple analysis can really help you save lots of money, especially during Prime Day, which is go in your targeting tab in the advertising console. Let's say you're not using any kind of software. You can go in your advertising console under targeting tab, select as data range year to date, and select orders equal to 0. Sort by ad spend and analyze all the keywords with clicks and orders. Because during Prime Day, most of your campaigns will spend more. Most of your campaigns, most of your keyword, most of your more search term will get clicks and spend. So you want to control this amount. And so what I would suggest, especially in a supplement niche, is that every keyword, we are 100% sure that we should target this keyword. We have another supplement brand that are doing 50 million a year. And the sum of their keyword, the CPC, is like $7, $8. So even if you have, like, let's say 5 keywords that you just put there, so you have a campaign, let's say, with 100 keywords inside, and during Prime Day, they start to get more clicks, and each keyword is, let's say, $5, it's $25. Like, we want to save as much money as possible, and you didn't test this keyword before. So you don't know if actually during Prime Day will perform. So I don't like to start spending on keyword only during Prime Day, because I don't know if before Prime Day, if this keyword were performing or not. I just want to make sure that what was working before Prime Day, we double down on that. So we make sure we are doing the best job at the things we were doing before Prime Day. I don't want to create new campaigns or add new keywords right before Prime Day or during Prime Day. We want to add some keyword, I will explain in a second, if you want to maximize revenue. But this is a very simple analysis that if you can do it, it would be amazing, because it can save you quite a lot of money, because we don't want to target keywords that are not relevant. And you can do the same thing on a search term level. So you analyze the search term for the past 30 days and see if you are getting clicks on search terms that are not relevant. And if they're not relevant, add them in negative exact. Because if you got enough data, so for a supplements brand, let's say that you have a conversion rate of 10%, around 20 clicks is a good amount. But if you analyze all your search term and you see, okay, is this relevant for my product? And if not, be ruthless, like go and add a negative exact. Go and stop spending for the search term. It's not the time to test during Prime Day. I'm not a big fan of testing during Prime Day. It's a time to make more profit and double down on what's working. So that is what we were doing for the supplements niche. We were doing some DSP after Prime Day to maximize our sales, or we were doing also DSP, sponsored display, remarketing, retargeting. What else are we doing for this supplements brand? We have a few big supplements brands. Some are doing 25, other 50 million. So yeah, but mainly also for these brands, we maximize profit. Okay, auto campaigns have high ACOS. Yes. One thing I want to say here, high ACOS for me is never a big issue. Because if you get an ACOS, high ACOS, it means that you're getting orders. If you're getting orders, for me, is a good thing. High ACOS for me, it means only that we have a high CPC. So high CPC or low conversion rate. So we can fix this by decreasing the CPC and improving the conversion rate by optimizing the placements. So for your niche, Ganesh, I hope, Ganesh F, I think automatic campaigns as substitutes could perform very well, and close match and lose match. So I will not test the complements. We didn't see much success with that. So that is what we see from our side. Okay. A few other things I wanted to share about Prime Day that we are doing is that since I see there were 20 people here. I see way more people. Okay, I lost some comments, so now I see more. Okay, I see Kevin. He asked me some questions. Any Amazon Marketplace audience suggesting that could perform good during Prime Day? So, Kevin, I guess here you're talking about the sponsored product Amazon Marketing Cloud audiences. So, one thing we are testing, so for anyone else who is listening to the live. So Amazon Marketing Cloud. So now for your sponsored products, you can target audiences with Amazon Marketing Cloud. And to get access to Amazon Marketing Cloud, you can leverage like an agency like us, or you can spend a bit in DSP. And if you spend in DSP, you can get access to Amazon Marketing Cloud. So we are slowly getting access to Amazon Marketing Cloud for almost all our clients. And we're using Amazon Marketing Cloud a lot on the DSP side. And we start to run more tests for the sponsored product side. But to be honest, Kevin, we noticed that it's quite struggling to really scale these campaigns with sponsored products. I don't know if you felt the same on your side. So with Amazon Marketing Cloud, you can create your own audiences. For example, you can target people who view the product but didn't purchase the product. And you can go very creative. Like you can create any kind of audiences, which is very cool. And you can get the data for the past 5 years. So that's very interesting. And we will test some Amazon Marketing Cloud campaigns after Prime Day to see if we can maximize this. But for now, we don't have actually like really great success with it. We are testing a few stuff, but we're struggling to really invest more with PPC. I don't know if you felt the same. And when we invest more, CPC tends to be very high. And another question I still have that I didn't answer, I don't know if you have any answer, Kevin, is like, where are they appearing these ads? Because let's say they're targeting exact match top of search with Amazon Marketing Cloud audiences. Is like, am I appearing to customers who are looking again to the same product, added my product to the cart, and they didn't purchase? And so I'm pushing more for these kind of audiences. So I'm still struggling to understand with the kind of audience they are targeting, if it makes sense, especially with sponsored products. We're always tied to the keyword targeting in the campaign. So it's hard to meet all the conditions for a campaign with an Amazon. Exactly, yes. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, we can create so that's true. But that's a great question. We will let you know if we find something that is working. We will share it in the Amazon in our community, in the school community. So feel free to join, Kevin, if you're not already inside. But if you see any success, please share it with us. I'm curious to know if any of you are testing something that we don't see. We keep testing stuff. So we have what we call an R&D department, so the research and development department, where we run different tests. So right now we're testing, for example, the business placements on Amazon. We have seen like great success for some of our clients. So yeah, if you have any success, Kevin, please let me know. Michael, you asked me, we aren't eligible for deals and coupons, but we decrease our price from 54 to 46 so we can get the benefits, or deals and coupons. Okay, so you just decrease the price, but you're not using a Prime Day deals. So it's something. So it's not you. At least we're doing something, which is good. It's not too bad. Like you're still trying to take advantage of the Prime Days deals, Prime Day, which is great. One thing I would say here is that most likely you will not be able to see the performance as a Prime Day deal or any other kind of big deals during Amazon, because people tend to prioritize that one. But still, we noticed for our clients, even decreasing the prices is still a good idea. You could try to add some coupons, but I think if you just decrease the price from 54 to 46 is already a good decrease. And you can notice like now we have 4 days. So we also don't know how customer will behave during these 4 days. So the first day you can tell you a bit about this event. And if you said, okay, there are no traction, and try to analyze, okay, are we actually spending on PPC? Can we spend on PPC? Or do we see that the PPC is really unprofitable, so we're not able to convert? If you still see that, okay, overall sales are good, and we're able to spend on PPC, we're able to get profitable, and we're able to get good conversion from PPC, you can keep going like that. If you need to change, you can change it from day 2 by adding a coupon. Okay. Here I see a question from Nathan. In supplements, do you see higher conversion windows in the late night or early morning hours during Prime Day? And how do you adjust your hourly bid to exploit those micro surges? Okay. So in the supplements niche, first of all, to analyze this data, you can do it yourself by downloading the file from the campaign. you can select, so you go in your report, you select sponsored product, select campaign, and you select the report type data range hourly. So you can see how the conversion rate for each of your campaign is performing on an hourly basis. So you can actually see for your niche. So I would suggest first to do this analysis. But for our clients, what we notice, especially in the supplements niche, is that the CPCs tend to be very, very high at the beginning of the day, and it tends to go lower and lower during the last few hours of the day. So we don't make changes on the bid. So we don't do hourly bid changes, but we use a bit of day parting. So we stop the ads at the beginning of the day, and we try to maximize the spend after the first few hours of the day, because we notice that overall, like, conversion rate tends to be a bit lower at the beginning of the day. CPC is a bit higher because there are more advertisers. And so what we want to do, we want to use a bit of day parting to save some money. But for example, for these supplements brands, they have the budget to invest, so they're willing to also be there when everyone is there. So they don't care too much about the profit. But if you care about the profit, I would suggest to do this analysis. So hourly analysis on the campaign level for your products, and then you can use Scale Insights to see if you see a correlation between a campaign analysis, so conversion rate and CPC, and overall sales from Scale Insights hourly data, and see if you want to make any changes. So I never I did some hourly bidding changes, but I never saw big success, to be honest. And also was challenging to analyze the metrics because we don't have hourly performance for each keyword. We have it with Amazon Marketing Cloud, but it's a bit more complex. So we don't do that. We like to keep it simple. We like to maximize profit. We like to make sure we're doing the basics very well. And we've seen it's working quite well. But if you're doing any of that, Nathan, please let me know. I would love to know it. Does sponsored brand video usually get good results during Prime Day? The answer is it depends. Depends on the sponsored brand video, depends on the keyword you are targeting. And the cool part also of sponsored brand video that many people don't know is that you can put actually multiple videos inside an ad group. So you can test multiple videos for the same keyword, and you can see which one is performing the best in terms of CTR. We were running this test where you can use AI to create videos with the Amazon advertising platform. So we created, for example, 15 videos with AI, and we saw which one was performing the best. And so yes, sponsored video are performing during Prime Day. You just need to make sure you have the right product, the right keyword. And so for a sponsored brand video, CPCs tend to be as high as the sponsored products, so still quite expensive, but conversion rate is really good. So what I would suggest here is analyze your sponsored brand videos before Prime Day. If they're working before Prime Day, they should work during Prime Day, if you have still a good offer during Prime Day. I see that Alexander is answering that, which is great. Exactly, yeah, Kevin, I noticed the same. So we are testing as well the one built from Amazon. So Kevin Oliver said only Amazon Marketing Cloud audience I have found success is the built-in Amazon audiences, especially the high likelihood of purchasing based on recent shopping activity. So interesting to know. Okay, so we are testing all of them. So this is good to know. We will keep you posted if we see any big success. We are testing it more and more. So let's see what. But I feel like this is a very cool update from Amazon, because in the end, like, they're trying to give us more ways to target an audience. So that is also one of my beliefs, that is Amazon is trying to move away from keyword targeting and is trying to use more audience targeting, because they know that they can get better performance, I think. So yeah, this is a very cool thing I noticed. And yeah, there are some other updates that makes me think that this is the direction they're trying to go. More audience targeting instead of keyword targeting. Okay, go to the gym, go rock it, like that. Okay. Lots of questions. I like it, guys. Nathan, happy to help. Let me check in the community if they have any question here. Okay. A few other things for Prime Day. So I wanted to share. So in our community, we share free, the checklist we go through every Prime Day, and we update it every Prime Day. So if you want to get it, feel free to join our free school community. We added there a checklist. I know Alexander did that. And if you have any question, you can ask it there. We will share with you what we are doing every single day during Prime Day and some results from our clients, so you can see what's working and not, and if we see any difference compared to the last year. And it will be very interesting to see 4 days of Prime Day. Okay, Nathan is asking, what's your framework to determine when it's worth accepting 150% ACOS for best seller badge protection versus pulling back to maintain contribution margin on mature SKUs? So actually, this is a great question, because I was speaking with a customer last week, and they were fighting to get the best seller badge for one of their products, and they were always looking at if PPC was bringing additional ad sales, additional total sales. So let's say I spend more with PPC, am I getting incremental sales? But one thing I told them that in the end, the two metrics that I really care about is revenue and net profit dollar amount. These are the two metrics I care the most. So, okay, it's important to have organic sales percentage. It's important to have to keep an eye on the ACOS. But in the end, also when I speak with like really big sellers, they have three main metrics. They have BSR, they have net profit dollar amount, and they have revenue. They track these three metrics. So one thing I told them, and what I suggest them to do, obviously these guys, they're doing very well. They were doing around 800K a month, and now we started working together. So, and their tacos was very low, but they were struggling to keep the best seller badge because they noticed that there was a massive increase in sales when they had the best seller badge. The problem is that they were always decreasing, pulling back the ad spend, because they were not thinking that the PPC will help the overall sales, or they didn't see that their market share percentage was increasing. So one thing I would suggest here is that just focus on three main metrics. So in this account, I told them, can we try to increase the ad spend and overall increase the net revenue, the overall revenue and net profit percentage? So I don't care too much about the ACOS. I care about the net profit percentage. So if I can still maintain like a very high ACOS and increase the net profit, that's amazing. But these guys, they were afraid of adding a very high ACOS. In your account, so Nathan, you said that you have a supplement brand. So your supplement brand, it's a bit more challenging, because you can actually not see the real value of the customer you're getting. And there is a cool new feature from Amazon that is allowing to see the long-term value of the customer you're getting from PPC. So you can see the ROAS long-term, they call it, which is very cool. But for example, right now, what we test for our clients, especially if you are in the top 5 position organically, we start to really pull back the ad spend and to start to maximize the overall profitability. So one thing we notice is that for supplements brands, sometimes investing more in PPC is not actually bringing additional revenue to the company. It's actually cannibalizing the sales. So what I would suggest here is to analyze the ranking for the keyword you are trying to invest more, and see if it's actually moving the needle. And so for example, for this supplements brand, they're doing 50 million. They have one bestseller, and we start to really pull back the ad spend for their main keyword. And it looks like, I know that it's just a test they're running, the team is running right now, but it looks like the sales are the same. The challenging part with supplements is that we don't know if we were losing new to brand customer. So it could take a bit of time to analyze this data, but overall, I would say, analyze how much sales will increase with the bestseller badge, and see if it's worth to keep spending for this keyword. And if you're already in the top 5 position organically, you could really consider to decrease the spend, or at least decrease the spend on top of search, and try to get clicks on other places that are much cheaper. So in this case, I would evaluate, especially on the keyword you're targeting. So 150% is quite high. I don't know what are your margins, and I don't know the supplements. I don't know the lifetime value, but still it looks like, especially for a mature SKUs, like I'm not sure I would go that aggressive, to be honest. Especially during Prime Day. During Prime Day, I will not go that aggressive because everyone is going aggressive, so CPC will be even higher. I would prefer to make more profit here. So yeah, I'm not sure I will. I will need to check the account. I will need to see more data. But with a 150% ACOS could be worth it. I know that before you asked me about the day partying, could be worth it to run some day partying because I guess CPC is very high. So you want to make sure you're getting clicks on the hours where you have the highest conversion rate, so you can have the best performance. Okay. Okay. But will be cool tomorrow. I'm excited to see the performance for 4 days of Prime Days. Hopefully, will be bigger than last year. But yes, I didn't check the Amazon homepage yet, but I think they are pushing quite heavily. Yes, early deals. So the early deals started. So that's let's see how. Okay, amazing. So I don't see any other question. I think I went through my checklist. I spoke about the daily tacos, search term analysis, answer some question. Day parting, yes, sometimes it's worth to do. You can do the analysis first. If you want the analysis, let us know. We can share it in our community on how we are doing that. Yeah, one last thing I want to share is that I don't know if I told you if I said that before, but every single day, so not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, what we like to do, we like to make sure that we're not spending on search terms that are not relevant. So on Wednesday, for example, you can download the yesterday data, so Tuesday data, and see where you're getting the clicks, and making sure you're getting clicks only on relevant search term. And this is the same thing I said before, but we like also to do it during Prime Day, because we can make sure that during Prime Day we don't see any surprise. Sometimes there are some surprise, like other placements in the home page. I remember there was this placement that was very difficult to control, but it's worth to understand where are we spending. And if you do it every day during Prime Day, you analyze yesterday data, and do not take massive changes. So just analyze what's happening, and if you see anything that is not relevant for your product, just add in negative exact, or decrease the bid if you feel like is actually helping. I put a live chat before. I was only top chat, and I feel like I missed some comments. Okay. So I see that there is a question: how do you manage campaigns when your hero agents rely heavily on price competitiveness versus established brands? Ooh, okay. So your hero agents rely heavily on price competitiveness and versus established brand. So let me think about an example of one of our clients. Electronics. Ooh, okay. Not easy. When do you manage? Well, when you hear right. And here you're. I see that Alexander already. Yeah, like what Alexander is saying here is that to make sure we are targeting the really right targets. We don't want to just go. We could go broad, we could go wide with automatic campaigns, but we want to be profitable with our PPC. So try to aim for a profitable ad sales. Yeah, so in the end, there are two main things you can do. You can go and try to rank for the keywords, or you can try to get profitable ad sales. These are the main two things you can do in this niche. And you can try to rank for these keywords. So be very strategic, as Alexander said, on the keyword you want to target. And if price, the problem we noticed that the price is really a big factor in ranking. So we had, for example, a client with a price like I think 3x compared to the best sellers, and we are not able to improve the ranking. We are able to improve the ranking only when the client is decreasing the pricing. So, and as soon as they decrease the pricing, we see that the organic ranking is improving. So, so what I would suggest here is to try to rank for the keyword and be very strategic on the keyword you want to target. Do not go for the biggest one, especially in electronics. It's very competitive, and the return rates could be very painful. And on the other side, you can try to go a bit wide with your campaigns and try to get with the sponsored product broad match automatic campaigns and try to get profitable ad sales. So do not try to go with an ACOS above your target ACOS or above your break-even ACOS. Try to get profitable ad sales. So a very low ACOS and try to get additional sales that could move the needle. So very challenging niche, to be honest. I will need to check the brand to be 100% honest with you. And here, I would really analyze what my competitors are doing with Ace Insights, so I can do a reverse engineering and see what they're spending and see if I can learn something from them. Okay, wow, guys, it's already 55 minutes. So 50 minutes considering the first 5 minutes where I was struggling. But I appreciate you with all these questions. So I really hope it was a bit useful. If you have any additional question, please let us know in our community. There will be a link in the description to join our free community. And we are very active there. And there will be free questions to answer to join the community, since we don't allow everyone to join the community. We care about the people inside the community, and we don't allow any spam or anyone trying to pitch themselves. We don't like that. So yeah, if you have any question, any doubt, anything else, and if you want to get updates on a daily basis on what we're doing during Prime Day, feel free to join the community, and you will get updates from our side. So I think it's done. So thank you guys for joining the live. 19 people. That's amazing. Thank you for joining, and I see you in the next one.